We're delighted to be joined on the line by former Apprentice contestant and the owner and designer of inspired luxury apparel, Bushra. Bushra, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much, and thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you very much for coming on. Now, of course, it's 1 year since you were in the famous ballroom on The Apprentice. How do you look back on your experience?
Oh, wow, it's actually crazy how quick time has gone by. But yeah, I mean, when I sort of look back at me, I'm sort of looking at the candidates thinking, oh my God, you've got a grueling process to go through.
On the series as well, obviously it's just returned to our screens. Are you watching it this year or have you stayed away?
Well, you know what, I was in two minds, and I've just recently seen the first episode, and it's brought so much back, I'm not going to lie.
Are there any contestants so far that you think, I know, I appreciate, I probably don't even know a lot of their names yet, but are there any contestants that you think may have a shot this year or have impressed you in the first episode?
You know what, a couple of people have stood out, actually, and again, I'm not too familiar with their names yet, but the young guy with sort of long hair, is it Aaron?
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I'm not sure his name. I think he's got a couple of tricks up his sleeve. And then I think the one who was project manager in the task as well, I think she's a little dark horse.
Yeah, she was kind of shoved under a bus, wasn't she, by that other contestant? What did you make of that?
Oh my God, I mean, the bickering between women, it was crazy. I was just thinking, what's going on? It's the first task, you can't be like that.
That's exactly what I was thinking as well. Now, Bushra, of course, when we all watch The Apprentice, those of us who, of course, haven't been on it, and we think of Lord Sugar interrogating you in the boardroom, and we think, hey, you know, how scary that must be. Now, you've, of course, been in that position. Is it as scary as we see on TV, or is it even scarier when you're in there and everyone's watching on?
Oh, gosh, it's even scarier than what you guys watch.
Really?
Yeah, it is, honestly, because you just know you're being looked at, and they kind of know some information about you and they're following the task that you've just done. So you're really like, I think everything that you're doing is just heightened, so your emotions are tripled and doubled. Yeah, really frightening, actually.
Now, when you go in as well, all the contestants, you all say something, you know, fairly cocky to try and, you know, create an image for yourself, and you all say, you know, kind of outlandish things. It kind of means that a lot of people look at some of the contestants who are on, even, you know, a lot of them this year, and think, I wonder what they're like in real life. How did you find dealing with a lot of your co-stars on The Apprentice? Did you find that actually you got on with most of them quite well, or were they quite tricky characters?
Well, you know what we have to think about is every single person that has been chosen, there is like this passion and drive of being like so successful. So we are a bit cocky because we all sort of think we're like the bee's knees, I guess, in a way. But we all got along. And of course, you're always going to butt head with people.
Yeah.
I guess in a way because you're so alike.
And when you were dismissed by Lord Sugar, it was a very heated boardroom exchange between yourself and I can't remember the other contestant who...
Sarah was there.
Yeah,
Sarah was with me, and Elizabeth.
And what was the relationship like between you and those two afterwards? Has it been quite frosty since? Have you spoken? Have you cleared things up? Or what's it like now?
Well, interestingly, Sarah and I were always very sort of close friends anyway. From the beginning, we got on very well. I think Elizabeth and I clashed a bit, only because I just couldn't get a word in edgeways with her, I think.
You weren't the only one who couldn't get a word in edgeways, I reckon.
I know. And it's really, really difficult because you're not only live with them, but you're then on task with them. And then if you don't see eye to eye with the way you work, I guess that sort of creates tension. But yeah, I mean, afterwards, I've spoken to everyone. And there's only a couple of people that I keep in touch with now, and that's it, really.
Okay. And, of course, it's not just Lord Sugar on The Apprentice. You've also got Karen Brady and Claude Littner. Now, one of those will follow you around in the task, don't they? I mean, how closely do they follow you? Do they kind of watch from a distance behind? Do you have any interaction with them when you're on a task, or do they keep themselves to themselves?
Well, you know what? I thought they would keep themselves to themselves, but actually they do interject sometimes.
Do they?
If they think you're doing something horribly wrong, then they will step in. But then at the same time, if they like what you're doing, then they will make you aware that they've seen that you've done it.
That's really interesting, because you see from the episode, they kind of just sit back, it seems, and they don't have any interaction.
Yeah, no. I mean, they are there, and they are in the background because they're not there to kind of, I guess, play any role, but just observe.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I did speak to Karen on a couple of occasions as well, and, you know, she'd come and say, oh, why don't you try this? So they do sometimes sort of say a few words to you as well.
And I mentioned Claude there. He's got a bit of a reputation. If you look at some of the videos, obviously, of past contestants when he's, you know, kind of ripped them to shreds. What's he like as a person kind of off the camera? Is he very nice, or is he still made of steel, as it appears?
Do you know what? Claude is a gem, honestly.
Really?
I got to know him a lot more after the whole show, I guess. And he's a real sweetheart. But there's this really business beast sort of behind that. And that's the best way I can describe it. So when it comes to work, he's very much work ethical. But then as a person, he's really, really lovely.
Now, Bushra, in a past interview, you said that your nightmare business partner would be Kanye West. Is that true?
It's so true.
Why is that?
I mean, look, he's just called himself Yee right now. Like, who does that? He's just, I don't know, suddenly things are so outlandish. It would just really rub me out the wrong way, I think, and we'd clash all the time. I don't know, I just think he's a bit of a crazy character, really, and I can't deal with people like that usually.
And who would be the dream business partner?
Oh, that's a good question. Dream business, I don't know, I think it might be Richard Branson.
Really, yeah.
Sorry.
That's fair enough.
Maybe I was on the wrong show. But yeah, I don't know. I really like the way that he's done things, and I like where he's going as well with his businesses and kind of including communities and the young entrepreneurs. I really like that focus because I think mentoring is overlooked somewhat, and I think all the youth sort of need that right now.
Okay. And Bushra, now you're, of course, the owner and a designer of iiLA, as I mentioned at the start, Inspired Luxury Apparel. Tell us a little bit about that business.
Okay, so that kind of started quite a few years ago, actually. And
so before the whole Apprentice experience?
It was, yeah. I mean, actually started about 7 years ago, but then I rebranded like a year before going on The Apprentice. And that's when I sort of got all the experience under my belt. And I guess then when I found iiLA, it kind of fitted really, really well because it was a growing market. I knew everything that I needed to know to open a business online. And then we were sort of ASOS Marketplace. We got into Drapers. We were all at the biggest shows. And I guess that's where I decided, actually, it might be time to go on The Apprentice.
And Bushra, where can people find out more about iiLA?
So it's very simple. You can go online, www.iilacollection.com. You can also visit us at ASOS Marketplace at the moment as well. And then at the moment, we're talking to a few retail outlets that might stock the product.
Brilliant. And lastly, Bushra, looking at your Twitter, you tweeted the other day a screenshot from your mother who tried to follow you on WhatsApp. Of course, as you pointed out in the tweet, that wasn't possible. Have you managed to teach your mum how to use WhatsApp, or has she improved, or what's the deal there? Because I'm eager to find out.
My mum is the funniest woman on the planet. Honestly, she's so funny. I mean, when she sent me that, I'm like, Mum, you can't follow people on WhatsApp, it's Instagram or Snapchat. I mean, I don't think she'll ever get it because she still can't use Facebook.
Brilliant. Well, Bushra, thank you so much for joining us.
No, thank you guys so much.